Hey guys, if you're new here, I'm Jess. And if you've been hanging out with me for a while, welcome back. I'm here to answer the question, is Mohegan Sun in Connecticut worth it? Well, this trip was a little different because this wasn't a solo trip or a couple's getaway. This was some much needed sister time. I packed my bags and headed to Connecticut for a mini vacation with my family. And we spent our getaway eating, drinking, relaxing by the pool, playing in the arcade, catching a comedy show, exploring the resort, and of course, spending a little money and a little bit of time in the casino. But after experiencing Mohegan Sun for ourselves, I definitely have some thoughts. There were things we absolutely loved, things that surprised us, and a few things that just didn't do it for us. So if you're thinking about planning a trip to Mohegan Sun, come along with us because I'm giving you the honest version of my experience. Ready to see what I discovered on this adventure? Because around here, we're always asking one question. Is this gluten-free? After we got checked in, we made our way to our first stop, the 𝐶𝐤𝐿𝐵 Falls Bar, which was perfect for our first meeting spot. We decided that the best way to start our trip was with a drink. And let me tell you, this place was loud. But honestly, once we settled in, we really enjoyed it. There was so much happening around us, and this was one of those places where you could sit back with a drink and just take in everything going on around you. And the drinks? Those were definitely a hit. And our Mohegan Sun adventure was officially underway. But first, listen to how loud it was with the waterfall. Once we got settled in, we started doing what we do best, exploring. And one thing about Mohegan Sun, there's a lot to look at. We spent a good amount of time just walking around, checking out the different areas, seeing what restaurants and bars caught our attention, and figuring out what we wanted to do while we were there. Honestly, you could easily spend a lot of time here without ever feeling like you have to leave the resort. There are restaurants, bars, entertainment, shopping, the casino, the pool, and plenty of places to just sit and hang out, which, for a girls' getaway, was exactly what we wanted. For our first night's dinner, we headed to the Lansdowne Irish Pub and Music House. I ordered an Irish American traditional meal. The slow-cooked corned beef and cabbage with carrots, potatoes, and spicy brown mustard. Now I know it doesn't look like it, but trust me, there are carrots hiding underneath all that corned beef and cabbage. Everything arrived hot, fresh, and full of flavor. The corned beef was tender, cooked perfectly, and wasn't over salty, which can sometimes happen with corned beef. One thing that made me smile was that they brought out the spicy brown mustard without me even having to ask. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know I'm a dip and sauce kind of girl, so that was definitely a win for me. The only thing I did ask for was some white vinegar. I know that might sound a little different to some of you, but I absolutely love a little white vinegar on my boiled potatoes and carrots. Since this dish is traditionally gluten-free, there wasn't much that needed to be changed, which always gives me a little extra confidence when ordering. The staff took my gluten-free requests seriously, and I felt comfortable with the precautions they took when preparing my meal. Best of all, I had no issues after eating, which is always something I like to share with you because I know many of you are looking for restaurants where you can dine with confidence. Overall, this meal really hit the spot and was a great way to kick off our first night at the Mohegan Sun. After dinner, we spent the rest of the evening catching up, enjoying the atmosphere, and settling into vacation mode. And that pretty much set the tone for the rest of the trip. Good food, good drinks, and lots of quality sister time. After dinner, my niece headed back to her dance convention, which gave the big girls a chance to enjoy a little grown-up time. Our next stop was the A.T.Y bar and Bonbons, where we treated ourselves to martinis, and we also treated ourselves to a few of the A.T.Y's beautifully handcrafted bonbons. I was able to enjoy the gluten-free options they had available, but these weren't dairy-free, so I just had a taste. It was the perfect place to relax, catch up, and enjoy some uninterrupted sister time. Later that evening, we met back up with my niece, and she had the perfect idea to end the night: Ben & Jerry's. Now, if you've been around my channel for a while, you already know the first question I had. Is this gluten-free? The staff was incredibly helpful. They pulled out their allergy information and walked me through which flavors were both gluten-free and, excitingly, dairy-free, so I could make an informed choice. That extra step always means a lot because it shows they're willing to take allergies and dietary restrictions seriously. I was excited to find out that yes, I could safely have some Ben & Jerry's ice cream, but even better, they had multiple flavors I could choose from. So I decided on chocolate and strawberry in a dish. And let me tell you, that first bite was the perfect way to end the night. Well, here we are at day 2 of our trip, and after spending some time relaxing at the pool, we met up with my niece and some of her dance friends for lunch at Sol Toro. And this meal was a little different for me because I wasn't the only person at the table with celiacs. There were a few of us, which was actually really nice. For once, I wasn't the one asking all the gluten-free questions. One of the first things we found out was that the tortilla chips were safe for us because they were cooked in a designated fryer. And you know what that means. Chips and salsa for the celiac crew. But then came one of my favorite parts of the lunch, the tableside guacamole. I'd never had guacamole made fresh right at the table before, so this was such a fun little experience. Plus, I got to watch and supervise how it was being made. And one thing I've learned as a celiac in eating out with others is I always politely ask that I take my servings from shared plates first to avoid that cross-contamination. And again, since I wasn't the only gluten-free person at the table, I thought I'd show you some of the other meals too. One person in our group had the Cobb salad that looked wonderful. Another person ordered the chicken fajitas with cheese. I personally went with the chicken fajitas too, but I ordered mine without the cheese to make them both gluten-free and dairy-free. All right, here are the results. How were they? The chicken was full of flavor, and I loved being able to build my own fajitas exactly how I wanted them. This type of meal is right up my alley. It is one of my favorite types of meals. I get all the wonderful flavors with a dip-like feel to my meal. Between the fajitas, those fresh chips, and that tableside guacamole, this lunch definitely hit the spot. But I do have to say, one of my biggest takeaways from Sol Toro's wasn't just the food. It was seeing the precautions they took with several people with celiac sitting at the same table. From the designated fryer to keeping our guacamole separate, I appreciated the way they handled our gluten-free meals. And most importantly, I had no issues after eating here. I do have to say though, of course ingredients and kitchen procedures can change, so always let your server know about your dietary needs when you visit any restaurant. After lunch, we were quite full, so we spent the afternoon taking it easy and exploring more of the resort. Eventually, we decided it was time for a little coffee break, but definitely not another full meal. So we headed over to Sift Bake Shop to see if I could find a little something to go with my coffee. And luckily, I found not one, but 2 treats that were both gluten-free and dairy-free. I grabbed a chocolate chip cookie to have with my coffee, and a ginger molasses cookie to save for later. Because when you find a gluten-free and dairy-free baked good while traveling, you grab one for later. The chocolate chip cookie was okay. It wasn't my favorite flavor. It was soft and had surprised me with a nice salted caramel flavor, but there was also a flavor I couldn't place. It wasn't my favorite and probably deterred me from buying this cookie again. However, the chocolate chip cookie and the cup of coffee were just enough for a little afternoon pick-me-up. The rest of our afternoon was pretty laid back. We wandered around the resort, did some shopping, spent some time gambling, and just enjoyed not having anywhere we needed to be. Sometimes, those are my favorite parts of a getaway. No schedule, no rushing, just figuring out what you feel like doing next. That evening, us older ladies left my niece to do her thing and headed to Comix Roadhouse for a comedy show. We caught their last comic standing competition, which ended up being a lot of fun because we didn't just get to watch the comedians, we actually got to vote for one who we thought was the funniest. After the show, we met back up with my niece, and apparently, we had started a new family tradition. Remember that Ben & Jerry's from last night? Well, it was such a success that we decided we needed to go back. I mean, why not? We're on vacation. And since we had already done our homework the night before and found options that worked for me, I was more than happy to make another visit. Coffee, cookies, comedy, a little gambling, and ice cream for a second night in a row? I'd say day 2 was a success. And with that, we called it a night. Our last full day was pretty laid back. We spent more time enjoying the resort, revisiting some of our favorite spots, and just taking it easy. By that evening, we decided it was time to treat ourselves to a nice dinner. So we got dressed up and headed to the farm, Italy. And right away, I was happy to see how clearly the menu was marked for gluten-free options. That made it really easy to narrow down my choices and then figure out what could also work for me dairy-free. For dinner, I ordered the salmon with espelette, chili, fava beans, kale, and peppers with the dairy component left off. And because apparently that wasn't enough vegetables for me, I also ordered a side of broccolini with lemon. First up, the broccolini. This was so good. It had just the right amount of char, so you got those slightly crispy edges, and then the lemon and onions gave it that bright little zing. Now, I'll admit, I wasn't completely sure how I was going to feel about the fava beans, but combined with the kale, peppers, and all those flavors underneath the salmon, it worked. Like, really worked. I actually ate every bit of it. And the salmon itself was cooked beautifully. The top had this gorgeous crust, while the inside was tender and perfectly flaky. This entire plate just worked together so well. Definitely not the boring vegetables that I make for myself at home. And in case you're wondering how I really felt about this meal, Exhibit A. Yep, I finished everything. For our nicer dinner of this trip, the Farm Italy absolutely delivered. I loved my meal. I had options that worked for both my gluten-free and dairy-free needs, and it felt like such a nice way to spend one of our final evenings together. So, after spending a few days eating, drinking, relaxing, exploring, and of course, doing a little gambling, what's my final verdict of the Mohegan Sun? Would I come back? Absolutely. What I really loved about Mohegan Sun was that we never felt like we had to leave the resort to find something to do. We could spend some time at the pool, shop, gamble, catch a show, grab a drink, have a nice dinner, or just wander around and decide what we felt like doing next. And from my gluten-free and dairy-free perspective, I was really happy with the options I found. I had restaurants that took my dietary needs seriously, clearly marked menus, a designated fryer at Sol Toro during our visit, gluten-free and dairy-free baked treats, ice cream, and some really memorable meals. Did I expect to have dairy-free, gluten-free ice cream more than once on this trip? Probably not. Did I take advantage of it? Absolutely. But as much as I enjoyed the food, drinks, and everything there was to do, my favorite part of this trip was really the reason we came in the first place, getting to spend time together. We didn't do everything. We never made it to that club. We passed on a few places that didn't interest us, and sometimes we just hung around the casino with absolutely no plan. And honestly, I think that's the part of what made this getaway so fun. So if you're considering Mohegan Sun for a getaway, I definitely put it on the list. There's enough here to keep you busy, but you can also slow down and make the trip whatever you want it to be. And if you're traveling gluten-free and dairy-free like me, I hope seeing my experiences gives you a great starting point for planning your own visit. Just remember that menus, ingredients, and kitchen procedures can change, so always ask questions and verify what's safe for you when you visit. And now I want to hear from you. Have you been to Mohegan Sun? Tell me in the comments what your favorite restaurant, activity, or hidden gem is, because clearly there's still plenty I didn't get to experience. If this video helped you plan your own trip, give it a thumbs up. If you're looking for more gluten-free and dairy-free finds while traveling, hit that subscribe button and come along on my next adventure with me. Thanks so much for wandering with me, and I'll see you on my next adventure.